My name is Hilary Gardea, and I am the host of Temple Touring, the Ultimate Temple Tour. Temple Touring, the Ultimate Temple Tour is a show that is dedicated to people who want to find an alternative to what they traditionally know as vacation destinations. I'd like to reframe the thinking of what that is. There's a lot of people that are looking for new adventures and are looking for different things to do, and this fits that mold. So what would you do, say, in Indianapolis, Indiana, or Fort Collins, Colorado, or Monticello, Utah? What would you do in these places? These are probably places you wouldn't think of as vacation spots. You will start to see that there is something different, something special about these places. There is a life, a livelihood that can be found in all of these different places. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has nearly 200 temples, special houses of worship throughout the world. These houses of worship, while they recommend to get into, the grounds are open to everybody to enjoy and feel of the Spirit. There are wonderful stories, miraculous stories of people sacrificing and dedicating their lives to bring the temple to their city, and we want to know why. What makes it special? Why did you want that there? And what kind of sacrifices did you make? Wherever there is an LDS temple, we want to go there. There's endless stories to be told, and possibilities a go-go. I used the word a go-go. Yes, I did. In this episode of Temple Touring, we're heading to Las Vegas, and better still, the Las Vegas Temple. But first, I want to get a personal account of the history of the temple in Vegas. So we're going to visit with one of the Finnish carpenters.
My name is Kim Hendrickson. Many years ago, I had started a furniture business that went belly up, so I was looking for another job, and my wife had a brother in Las Vegas that said building is booming down here, come down, I know you can find a job. I packed my bags, loaded up my little truck, and headed to Las Vegas, having no idea what I'd find. Went and dropped my bags off at his house, and then went immediately to the LDS Employment Service. And went in and talked to one of the men there and said, I'm looking for a woodworking cabinet making job. And so he looked through his list of job opportunities and gave me about 3 or 4 names of cabinet companies that I could go and interview with who were looking for somebody to come and help. So I got up and was leaving, and as I reached the door, he says, how would you like to work at the temple? And I said, there's absolutely no way. I'm not good enough to do work at the temple. And he says, well, here's the name of the people who are in charge of the finish work. Go up and talk to them. And so I said, what the heck? You know, what a neat opportunity. So I went in and spent about 10-15 minutes interviewing with them, and they said, when can you start? When I started, the first day, they had me doing the finish work in the 4 endowment rooms that they have, putting decorative trim on the altars and on the walls in all 4 endowment rooms. And then after I got that completed, they had me move into the celestial room, where they had large stained glass windows. They had me doing things that I'd never done before and I didn't think that I could do. And through some, I'll call it divine intervention, the craftsman on the other side, helping me know the things that I need to do. They have a couple of pillars that on the sides of the walls that lead into the celestial room, and they needed a base put around these round pillars, which required a 12-sided molding down at the bottom, and I'd You know, I can do a picture frame 4 sides, but when it gets into 12 sides, I didn't know. But I was able to figure it out, and went back, probably 8 or 10 years later, and it was still there, and the molding's all there, and it was just fun to see that what I did was permanent, and it worked out. So thoroughly enjoyed it. It was testimony building, yeah. And just to know that you had an opportunity to work on the house of the Lord.
You've got a skill that is incredibly useful to the Lord, and I personally would like to thank you for the work that you did in the Las Vegas temple. So
It's very satisfying too. Thank you.
thank you. We'll end with a hug. We decided to go and take a hike on City View Trail. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. And you can see the Las Vegas Strip over there in the distance. Pretty easy trail, family friendly, and there's some great flowers and cacti along the trail as well. And it's not too hard of a hike. I think that this would be easy for young children. In fact, we saw some fathers with their children hiking the trail as well. So it's a nice little morning walk, I would say. Probably want to do that in the spring or early morning. So, City View Trail. And so we met Erica, and we chatted and we hugged and we embraced, because that's who we are. I have to say that I am so glad to finally meet you. It's been so long. 2 years. I know, we've known each other on Facebook for I don't even know how long. And it's been amazing to actually finally meet you in person. And I'm looking forward to having some fun today.
Me too.
All right, so let's go have some fun.
Did you know that the old Mormon fort isn't actually owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Which is why the guides wear those awesome pants instead of those awesome name tags.
I'm Sherry Campercholi, and I'm a park aide here at the old Las Vegas Mormon Court State Historic Park. And we're going to go on a little tour today of this gym in Las Vegas. Industrial elements represent the railroad when this became a railroad town, and you'll see glass panels that grow through the walls that let in light. Those are water elements because water was so crucial here in Las Vegas. So the Wikia is what the pipes was.
Okay,
That's awesome.
okay, so that was actually a home.
It's family friendly and has a lot of activities throughout the year. Just check their website.
So I think we're done here at the old Mormon Fort. It's been really interesting, but the sun's beating down. I might be a little dehydrated. So I think we should go get something to eat.
Yes, and speaking of dehydrated, I believe they have handmade lemonade over at the Container Park.
Ooh, at Container Park.
Let's go.
Time for lunch.
Container Park is a great family option and has something for all age groups, from the 3-story playground area to food to candy and people watching. It's a great way to make everyone in your group happy.
I got that!
Discovery Children's Museum has just about everything that your child could possibly be interested, or you for that matter. They have every vocation that you could possibly imagine. You could learn to be an air traffic controller, a mechanic, a DJ, or an archaeologist. Whatever you want to do. We wanted to get your story and what has improved your relationship with Heavenly Father. So, give us some of your childhood and then bring us to why you're at where you're at. What's made you so strong?
When I went to high school, I went to a Mormon high school, which I had no idea because I didn't know what Mormons were or what the white shirts and the missionaries meant. I didn't know any of that. Really, my best friend at the time was investigating the church. One day, his mom, I remember them getting into a fight, and I was asked to leave, and I found out later that night that she was joining a different church, and he wasn't very happy about that. She refused to join unless he looked into it, so he did, and slowly but surely, about 2 weeks later, they were both baptized. And they started inviting me to church. I don't even go to my own church, and it's only an hour and a half. And I go, your church is 3 hours. And I go, if your God can't get it done in an hour and a half, I don't want to go.
That's pretty awesome.
So I went for a long time, about a month and a half. I was going through a really hard time, so I got up and went to church. First person to get up was a really lovely woman, and I didn't know what fast testimony was. So this woman gets up. She was kind of a little over detailed, but how she ended it was that her visiting teacher came into her home, cleaned her house. She came home to a home, and she was just bearing testimony about how nobody judged her. They just loved her and they took care of her, and I was just sobbing. I was crying,
yeah.
and I just felt the Spirit testify to me, and it made me very aware that the Lord was aware of me.
It was exactly what you needed.
It was exactly what I needed. I realized that this was what I needed to do and what I needed to look into, and I was like, so a week after that, I called my friends and I said, I think I want to take the missionary lessons. And they're like, what? What? Yeah. I think anybody who knew me in high school would have been like, Erica's Mormon? And I actually, after I got baptized, about 2 years after I got baptized, a bunch of my friends who I had no idea were Mormon, but I don't know why nobody wanted to tell me. Kept the secret. They're like, oh yeah, so-and-so was Mormon, and so-and-so. I was like, get out. My friend's like, I always wanted to share the gospel with you because I thought you'd be a great Mormon. So yeah, I joined the church. I got baptized. Shortly thereafter, got married to my best friend who was investigating the church.
At the same time?
At the same time,
right.
Yep. So he was baptized 2 months before me. So they all joined, then we joined, then I joined, and then we got married. And
it's a great day for the missionaries, by the way.
When we finally got to the temple and finally got sealed to her husband, they got sealed to her son. I got sealed to him.
Wow.
And then our son was 6 months old, so it was all 5 of us in the same sealing room.
That's genealogy right there.
We all got sealed together on the same day, so all 5 of us.
That's amazing.
But, so I was married just under 5 years, and I had what we like to gently call a faith transition. My parents thought I had, after I got divorced, they're like, so you done being Mormon? And I was like, no, no, still Mormon, just not married. I was divorced, a single mom. I didn't have my eternal family anymore. So I didn't know where I fit in this eternal family church.
Yeah.
So that was a really hard time for me, and living Mormon single is hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
Yes, it is.
Especially in this day and age, but it is, especially after being married.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially after being married.
I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that. Yeah. And from experience,
it's
too.
a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
About my faith transition lasted about 10 months, and I was at this fork in the road. I could go left and leave the church, or I'm going to reach out to Bishop to go back to church.
Ham or turkey?
Yeah.
In the sandwich shop. Ham or turkey.
Exactly. So yeah, I met with the bishop, and the bishop starts choking up. He starts crying, and he says, well, I'll have you know, my dad died when I was very young, and my mom, I was raised by a single mom, and I lose it. I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. I have a place here. I have a place in the church. I'm still wanted. I'm still needed. I still matter. And so, yeah, that was my coming back. Once you step out of your fear and into your faith, it's like, okay, there you are.
Yeah.
Come.
Fear versus faith.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Nothing has changed me or made me a different person like the atonement.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
has worked like the atonement has worked. Then I realized I needed to work on, I was so worried about what these people, what men thought about me. I wasn't worried about what Heavenly Father thought of me. And that's what really mattered.
Right.
And, got my temple recommend back. And when I walked into the celestial room, and when I walked into the celestial room, my Mormon mom was there. My Mormon dad was there. A bunch of people from my ward were there. And it was like walking home. It was like walking to family. And I cried. And so, yeah. And so shortly after that, I had realized that my story would help a lot of people. And I decided to start my blog.
Your blog, which is?
It's Imperfectly Perfect Mormon.
Yeah.
And I chose that name because when I joined the church and because I had so much going on in my life, I didn't feel like I could be Mormon. I didn't feel like I could fit that mold. I didn't feel like I could be Mormon. And I want people to know that you don't have to fit the mold. I can just be Erica and be Mormon. Yeah.
I just love the Neon Museum. They call it the Boneyard because all the old neon lights from all of the old casinos and hotels that litter the grounds, and they're just awesome. They have 2 shows. One is a guided tour with a very knowledgeable and experienced guide who will tell you everything about everything in that boneyard. The other is called Brilliant. It is the 2nd show, and it's a little bit more interactive and has music. I recommend that you hit both. Make time for both, and they only take reservations. So definitely call, definitely go to both.
Jonathan Watkins, and this is my mom,
Erica Watkins.
and we'd like to welcome you to fabulous Las Vegas!
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you for welcoming me to fabulous Las Vegas.
You're welcome.
I have a question for you, though.
What?
What's your favorite part of the temple? Why do you love the temple?
Well, me and my mom decided that both our favorite parts would be the celestial room.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I felt like the spirit, and I felt like all the people that got blessed in there.
Nice.
I just felt good in it.
So, I wanted your mom to tell me about you and her favorite things about you.
I have a lot of favorite things about him. He's really funny, really, really smart. He's a quick learner. He's a quick study. He really loves saying prayer, going to church. He really loves the gospel. Couldn't wait to get baptized, and then right after he was baptized, the first thing he said was, well, 4 more years and then I get to go into the temple. That's when we surprised him with the Cedar City
Open house.
Oh, that's a great.
But when we were going there, we passed by a bunch of.
We did pass by a lot of temples.
Yeah.
And he loves visiting them. We've been to St. George, we've been to Salt Lake, so there's a lot of good memories made around temples.
What is your hope for his future?
The biggest thing I've always tried to teach my son is that he's not a bad person. Like some people say, that you're a bad boy. To kids, bad boy, bad girl. I've always taught him that he can make bad choices, but he's never a bad person. And that he can always say sorry, and he can always ask for forgiveness and it's always there for him, and to always be kind.
Tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite number for your mom? How much do you love your mom?
About 2,000 million %.
He answers privately, reaches my reaching in my Gethsemane, Savior and friend. Gentle the peace he finds for my beseeching, constant he is and kind, love without end.
Visiting with Erica and her son was very, very special, and I think that they are two very choice people, and it was a blessing to meet them both. I'm excited to see what the future brings both of them. They're going to do such great things. Truly, honestly, just great things in their lives and for the people they are in contact with. Just fantastic. We got in the car and we drove back, and it was exhausting and it was awesome at the same time. There is so much to do in Las Vegas for members of the church and for those that are looking for good, clean things to do. There is a lot to do, and actually we have so many places to go. There is so much to do out there, and we're going to find it. We're going to do it all. Well, maybe not all, but most of it. We're going to do the good stuff and the stuff that's worth doing, because we are temple touring and we have a mission, and that is to change the way you think about your vacation. Okay, so right here, right now, I would like to say thank you to all of my friends and family who have supported me in this endeavor to bring temple touring to your screen. It has been a labor of love, and I get a little emotional about it because it has been a form of therapy for me. It has brought me closer to my Heavenly Father, for which I cannot be more grateful. I would like to say thank you to a whole slew of people. Jordan and Austin for being awesome editors. I would like to thank my mom for her help and support. None of this would have been possible without Mom. I would like to thank Freedom Mailing Services and Uppercase Printing for being main supporters of Temple Touring, the Ultimate Temple Tour. They pushed me to bring this to you. I'd also like to thank Joel Frost at Joel Frost Realty. He is a realtor here in Orem, and he's awesome. He's been a friend of mine for years and years and years. He is also one of my original supporters here for Temple Touring, and he is our sponsor. And if you're looking for your dream home here in Orem or Utah County, he is a realtor and an appraiser, and he's got your back. I would like to thank my brother, Jaden Hendrickson, and his wife, Mallory, for being such great supporters and troopers and helping me out on our trip to Las Vegas. That was very sweet of you. I would also like to thank my grandparents. Yeah, I'd like to thank my grandparents and my friends and my family, Julie and Marianne, Carrie Gom Torres, and her husband David Torres in Las Vegas for being so awesome. Thank you to you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to my Heavenly Father. We know that in the Bible it says all good things come from Christ, and inspiration is God-given. So I feel like this was Heavenly Father trying to help me out, and I will never say no to help from my Heavenly Father. I know that He loves me. And in our coming episodes, we will be going to The Payson, Utah Temple. We will be going to Fort Collins, Colorado. We will be going to Star Valley, Wyoming, and we will be going to Twin Falls, Idaho. So we will see you there. Come say hi to me, come say hi to the crew, come have a good time, and let's go temple touring.